Okay, folks, you're about to see a video by Kirk Sorensen, co-founder of Fleabee Energy, which is headquartered in Huntsville, Alabama. Fleabee Energy is going to start out experimenting with molten salt reactors and liquid fluoride thorium reactors. These reactors, as explained by Kirk Sorensen, are safe and they will never melt down because of something called a failsafe. And should a complete power failure occur, he explains that since thorium is molten at room temperature, like water, it's going to there's going to be a freeze plug that's going to keep it frozen. And should power be lost, the freeze plug will melt, and the thorium will become liquid and drain into a special container called a drain tank, which is simple as it sounds. And the video is courtesy of 123 Rose 456. Thank you for uploading the video to YouTube.
The heavy water reactor will use about 0.7% of the uranium energy value, and the light water reactor will use about half of 1%. They both do terrible. At normal pressures, water will boil at 100 degrees Celsius. This isn't nearly hot enough to generate electricity effectively. So water-cooled reactors have to be over 70 atmospheres of pressure. You have to build a water-cooled reactor as a pressure vessel. The number one accident people worry about, pressure is lost. Water that's being held 300 Celsius flashes to steam. Its volume increases roughly by a factor of 1,000. If you don't get emergency coolant to the fuel in the reactor, it can overheat and melt. This is what drives the design of this building. So if this happens, all the steam is captured in this building. Now the reactors we have today use uranium oxide as a fuel. It's a ceramic material, chemically stable, but not very good at transferring heat. If you lose pressure, you lose your water, and soon your fuel will melt down and release the radioactive fission products within it. So they have a series of emergency systems designed to always keep the core covered with water. We saw the failure of this at Fukushima Daiichi. They had multiple backup diesel generators, and each one probably had a very high probability of turning on. The tsunami came and knocked them all out. People sometimes say, is nuclear energy safe? And the first thing I say is, well, which one? Thousands of different ways to do nuclear energy. The thing is, the car safe? Well, which one? I had the good fortune to learn about a different form of nuclear power, the liquid fluoride thorium reactor. We can fully burn up the thorium in this reactor versus only burning up part of the uranium in a typical light water reactor. It's not based on water cooling, and it doesn't use solid fuel. It's based on fluoride salts as a nuclear fuel. You have to heat them up to about 400 degrees Celsius to get them to melt. But that's actually perfect for trying to generate power in a nuclear reactor. Here's the real magic. They don't have to operate at high pressure. They don't have to use water for coolant, and there's nothing in the reactor that's going to make a big change in density. Unlike the solid fuels that can melt down if you stop cooling them, these liquid fluoride fuels are already melted. In normal operation, you have a little piece of frozen salt that you've kept frozen by blowing cool gas over the outside of the pipe. If there's an emergency and you lose all the power to your nuclear power plant, the little blower stops blowing, the frozen plug of salt melts, and the liquid fluoride fuel inside the reactor drains out of the vessel, through the line, and into another tank called a drain tank. In water-cooled reactors, you generally have to provide power to the plant to keep the water circulating and to prevent a meltdown. But if you lose power to the lifter, it shuts itself down all by itself without human intervention. A staggeringly impressive level of safety, even if there's physical damage to the reactor. Thorium is a naturally occurring nuclear fuel that is 4 times more common in the Earth's crust than uranium. It's so energy dense that you can hold a lifetime supply of thorium energy in the palm of your hand. We could use thorium about 200 times more efficiently than we're using uranium now. Because the lifter is capable of almost completely releasing the energy in thorium, this reduces the waste generated over uranium by factors of hundreds and by factors of millions over fossil fuels. We're still going to need liquid fuels for vehicles and machinery, but we could generate these liquid fuels from the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and from water, much like nature does. We could generate hydrogen by splitting water and combining it with carbon harvested from CO2 in the atmosphere, making fuels like methanol, ammonia, and dimethyl ether, which could be a direct replacement for diesel fuels. Imagine carbon-neutral gasoline and diesel, sustainable and self-produced. You can see that uranium-235 is like on par with silver and platinum. Can you imagine burning platinum for energy? And that's what we're doing with our nuclear energy sources today. We're burning this extremely rare stuff, and we're not burning thorium. Some people who are kind of environmentalists, and they say, listen, Nuclear power is not sustainable. We're going to run out of uranium. Okay, I will yield that point to you if we're talking about today's nuclear technology. In 2007, we used 5 billion tons of coal, 31 billion barrels of oil, and 5 trillion cubic meters of natural gas, along with 65,000 tons of uranium to produce the world's energy. So I have a friend who's trying to start a rare earth mine in Missouri. Jim, how much thorium do you think you'll be pulling up a year? He goes, I think about 5,000 tons. 5,000 tons of thorium would supply the planet with all of its energy for a year. And he goes, and there's like a zillion other places on Earth that are just like my mine. It's a nice mine, but it's not unique. It's not like this is the one place on Earth where this is found. Every time mankind has been able to access a new source of energy, it has led to profound societal implications. Human beings have had slaves for thousands and thousands of years. And when we learned how to make carbon our slave, instead of other human beings, we started to learn how to be able to be civilized people. Thorium has 1,000,000 times the energy density of a carbon-hydrogen bond. What could that mean for human civilization? Because we're not going to run out of this stuff. We will never run out. It is simply too common.
Okay, you saw the video, the short 5-minute presentation by Kirk Sorensen. The actual presentation is 2 hours long, and I will show you the link to that video. Hold on. Okay. Um, and as you can see, you see LFTR in 5 minutes, Thorium Remix 2011, and Energy Solution by Gordon McDowell. That is the that is the main video. Both of these are the whole presentation. Currently, the state of the planet is getting worse and worse with every passing year. CO2 is on the rise, global temperatures are on the rise, and Arctic sea ice is on the decline. We can avert an energy crisis and a global warming crisis all at the same time by doing thorium. Thorium, as you heard, is so common that we will we're never going to run out of it, but we're going to have it for at least a few thousand years. And there is definitely thorium on other planets, not just on Earth. There is likely thorium on Mars, on Venus, on Jupiter, well, not on Jupiter, on all the rocky surfaces. There's likely thorium. So even if we run out of it on Earth, we could always go into space and get some. And that's going to be like in a few thousand years. So, well, we could avert a global warming catastrophe by doing thorium. So yeah, it is possible for our whole planet to go completely carbon neutral. Not in 100 years, as some people theorize. Not never, but in a few decades. But unfortunately, our politicians are too skeptical of this because of what happened in Fukushima. But as he explained, this is a different kind of reactor, much safer than uranium-235. This is uranium-233. And you know what the Department of Energy is doing with it? According to one person, they're getting rid of it because they don't have any use for it. Well, we have use for it. We could use them in our LFTR plants. We could use it for nuclear research, for cancer medications, and yet we're destroying it. We're spending $500 million a year destroying it, and yet we're not gaining anything from destroying it. We could be pursuing a nuclear future that could save the world's economy hundreds of billions of dollars, yet we're spending billions getting rid of it. That's unbelievable. We could avert an energy crisis. We could stop fighting over oil for this nuclear technology. It's not like uranium-235. Uranium-235, yes, it's running out. We have a limited supply of it, as you heard. Our our energy bills are going to get skyrocketed if we use uranium-235. But according to Kirk Sorensen, do you know how cheap this stuff is? It's much more abundant than coal too. Coal's only going to last us another 200 to 300 years. Thorium is going to last us another 5,000 to 6,000 years, if not longer, because actually, according to Kirk Sorensen, and I read in an article that thorium could actually be used. Could I that thorium could that hold on, what am I saying? Thorium could burn our current nuclear waste stockpile, which means all the depleted uranium rods could be burnt in thorium, in the thorium plants, and we could end our nuclear crisis once and for all. Both the storage problem and the energy crisis and global warming all at the same time. And as he said, we could make carbon neutral gasoline and energy for cars. And we could make never ending plastic that is carbon neutral. Come on. And if you really want more information on this, if you really want to show the government that you care about this, go to www.thoriumpetition.com and sign up to sign their petition on the We the People website on whitehouse.gov. Because we need to spread the news around. We're killing our planet, both with uranium-235, with global warming, with all these conflicts. Yet we have a choice right here. It's in front of us, and we're choosing to ignore it. Some other countries like India and China have already decided to embrace this nuclear technology. India could actually avert an energy crisis because of this. Why is India having an energy crisis now? It's because they're using coal. They're using dirty, inefficient coal. And inefficient nuclear that is too expensive. We could avert an energy crisis. Every corner of the planet could be like New York City, and we still won't run out of this for another at least 1,000 years. We could fuel spaceships with this stuff. It's just incredible what we can do with thorium. We're wasting our time. Arctic sea ice, as I said, is on the decline. And I'm an environmentalist, and I'm also my strong point is not nuclear technology. It's actually meteorology, and I'm going into college soon studying this stuff. I've self-tutored myself in meteorology since I was a kid, since I was at least 5 years old. I was always interested in weather, but I was interested in the well-being of the planet since I was 7 years old, when I found out about global warming and what we're doing about it and how we're causing it. I've been worried about it since I was 7 years old. Yes, that's a little too young, but you know what? I've been a global warming activist. I've been an activist for the way we treat our planet since I was like at least 10 years old. I just didn't express it. But in school, I started a recycling program for plastic, for paper in my school. And I don't think that's enough. We should actually, as a people, as a nation, as a planet, we should do things to stop global warming. And it's right here. Al Gore should be supporting this, absolutely. And wind is dangerous for birds, so therefore it's not environmentally friendly. Solar is invasive because you have to take over the desert areas, which are pristine, not environmentally friendly. And if you want environmentally friendly solar, then install solar on your roof. That's the only way it's environmentally friendly. And then you have to maintain it, pay for it. The only possibly might be the only environmentally friendly thing we have right now is thorium. And for another few thousand years, it'll be the only thing that's going to keep us from cooking ourselves because of global warming. Please, I'm begging you, go to thoriumpetition.com and sign that petition. I will even show you the name of the website. Okay, you just subscribe to their mailing list and click subscribe, and then you could here's a link to the We the People website, and there will be a 32-minute video on thorium, and it'll explain what it is and how it works, or you could watch a 2-hour video. But if you're a United States citizen, please click here and sign the petition. And step number 2 is subscribe to their mailing list. They do not spam. I have signed up to this mailing list, and they're honest. They only email you if their 25,000 signature is not met. And with the signatures, it's going terrible. They only got like 2,000 down, like 1,300 down, or 1,400, and it's almost the deadline there. Please, we need to spread the message around. Please sign this petition and let us end global warming. Let us end all the strife, and let us end all the suffering over energy once and for all. Thank you very much, and please